The backyard was alive with laughter, the clinking of glasses, and the hum of a summer evening in full swing. Fairy lights twinkled above the long wooden table, casting a warm glow over the faces of my husband's extended family. The annual Carter family reunion was in its third hour, and the air smelled of grilled burgers and honeysuckle. I was clearing empty plates, my hands sticky from spilled lemonade, when I heard it. Honestly, what does Daniel see in her? She's practically worthless. The voice was sharp, unmistakable, my mother-in-law, Patricia, her words slicing through the chatter like a knife. I froze, a stack of plates heavy in my arms, as her sister, Linda, chimed in with a laugh. No ambition, no class. Just a leech clinging to our family's name. My breath caught, my chest tightening as the words landed. 50 pairs of eyes darted toward me, some curious, some amused, but none surprised. My name is Mia Bennett, I'm 34 years old, and in that moment, I realized the family I'd spent a decade trying to please had never accepted me. I forced a smile, set the plates down, and walked back to the kitchen, my heart pounding. They thought they'd broken me. They had no idea what was coming. Before that night, life had been a delicate dance, each step carefully choreographed to balance love, work, and the weight of my husband's family. Daniel and I had been married for 8 years, living in a modest 2-bedroom house in Raleigh, North Carolina, tucked into a quiet cul-de-sac lined with oak trees. Our home was a haven, its walls painted in soft blues, the living room filled with the scent of fresh coffee brewing every morning and the gentle strum of Daniel's guitar in the evenings. My days revolved around my freelance graphic design business, run from a converted garage office where sunlight streamed through a skylight, illuminating my sketches and mood boards. I'd built a loyal client base, local boutiques, tech startups, even a craft brewery, pouring hours into logos and branding campaigns that brought their visions to life. Each project was a small victory, a step toward my dream of opening a proper design studio, though I'd put that ambition on hold to focus on family. Daniel, a high school history teacher, filled our home with stories of his students' antics, his passion for teaching matched only by his devotion to the Carters, a tight-knit clan with old tobacco money and a legacy that loomed large. Their sprawling estate, just outside Raleigh, was a monument to their status, its manicured lawns and colonial mansion the backdrop for their lavish annual reunions. I'd spent years trying to earn a place among them, memorizing their traditions, Thanksgiving at the estate, Christmas at the lake house, and swallowing my pride when their comments stung. I baked pecan pies for their gatherings, designed elegant invitations for their events, and sent thoughtful gifts for birthdays, from monogrammed scarves to rare wines. My own family was a distant memory, my parents divorced when I was a teenager, my brother working as a chef in Seattle, so the Carters were my chance at belonging, a family to call my own. I poured myself into their world, believing love and effort would win their respect. Every slight, Patricia's pursed lips when I wore jeans to a brunch, Linda's raised eyebrow at my simple job, I brushed off as the price of being an outsider. "You're so practical," Patricia would say, her voice dripping with condescension, as if practicality were a sin. I told myself it didn't matter, that Daniel's love was enough. Our neighbor, Mrs. Ellis, a retired librarian who'd leave cookies on our porch, once said, "You give too much to those Carters, Mia. Save some for yourself." I'd smiled, deflecting her concern, but deep down, I knew I was lying to myself, clinging to a hope that was starting to fray. The signs of their disdain had been there for years, small thorns I'd learned to navigate but never fully escaped. It started subtly, in the early days of my engagement to Daniel, when Patricia insisted I sit at the kids' table during my first Carter Christmas, even though I was 26 and weeks away from becoming her daughter-in-law. "It's tradition," she'd said, her smile tight as she waved me toward a folding chair among giggling preteens. I'd laughed it off, but the humiliation lingered, a quiet sting I buried beneath my desire to fit in. Linda was worse, her forgetfulness a calculated slight, brunches I was never invited to, family trips Daniel learned about last minute, her apologies always laced with a smirk. "Oh, Mia, "I thought you were too busy with your little designs," she'd say, the word little sharp enough to draw blood. The cousins were no better, their whispers trailing me at gatherings, their laughter halting when I entered a room, leaving me to wonder what I'd done wrong. I'd convinced myself it was my imagination, that my lack of a pedigreed background, my parents were teachers, not tycoons, made me overly sensitive. But the slights grew bolder over time. At a cousin's wedding 3 years ago, Patricia had assigned me to serve punch while the family danced, saying, "You're so good at helping out." The task wasn't the issue, it was her tone, a dismissal wrapped in a compliment. Last Thanksgiving, she'd handed me a stack of greasy dishes to wash while the Carters lingered over wine, her voice bright with false gratitude, "Mia's our cleanup queen." Daniel had chuckled, squeezing my hand under the table. "Mom's just old-fashioned," he'd whispered, his eyes pleading for me to let it go. I'd nodded, but the weight of her words settled in my chest. 2 months before the reunion, I'd overheard Linda in the Carter estate's kitchen, her voice low but cutting as she spoke on the phone. "Daniel could have done so much better. She's dragging him down with her small-time career." I'd been carrying a tray of cupcakes I'd spent hours decorating, each swirl of frosting a labor of love, and her words hit like a slap. I slipped out before she saw me, my face burning, telling myself it was just Linda's jealousy. But then came the family group chat, a digital space I was never included in, though Daniel occasionally shared snippets. A cousin had posted a photo of me setting up tables at last year's reunion, captioned, "Mia's working hard for her keep." The string of laughing emojis felt like a public flogging. Daniel had shrugged when I showed him. "They're just teasing," he said, but the word keep echoed in my mind, a reminder that they saw me as a servant, not family. A week before the reunion, I found an email from Patricia to Daniel, accidentally forwarded to our shared account. "You deserve someone who elevates you, not someone who settles for less," it read, the words a cold confirmation of what I'd feared. They didn't just dislike me, they saw me as unworthy of their name. I didn't confront Daniel. Instead, I began cataloging their slights, a mental ledger of every insult, every moment they diminished me. My best friend, Emily, a lawyer with a sharp mind and sharper tongue, noticed my tension over coffee one morning. "Mia, they treat you like a prop," she said, stirring her latte. "When are you going to stop letting them?" I deflected, but her words planted a seed, one that was about to bloom. The reunion was the moment that seed broke through the soil, its roots fueled by Patricia's cruel words. Standing in the estate's kitchen, the echo of "worthless" reverberating in my ears, I felt a tempest of emotions: shock at the brazenness, humiliation under the weight of 50 gazes, anger at the years I'd wasted trying to please them. My hands shook as I scraped congealed potato salad into a container, the clatter of dishes a fragile shield against the chaos in my mind. Outside, the party roared on, laughter and music rising like a barrier between me and the family I'd poured my heart into. I could have stormed out, screamed at Patricia, let the tears I was holding back flood the room. That's what they wanted, a dramatic outburst to prove I was the emotional, inferior outsider they'd always claimed. But I refused to give them that victory. I took a deep breath, smoothed the wrinkles from my sundress, and carried a tray of peach cobbler I'd baked that morning back to the table. "Mia, you're a saint," a cousin said, grabbing a slice without meeting my eyes. Patricia's gaze flicked toward me, her lips curling in a challenge, as if waiting for me to crack. I met her stare, my smile as steady as steel. "Happy to help," I said, my voice calm but edged with something new, defiance. Inside, I was fracturing, each word from the reunion replaying like a loop: worthless, leech, no class. As Daniel drove us home, the hum of the car engine filling the silence, he reached for my hand. "You okay? You were quiet tonight." I stared out the window, the streetlights streaking past like my thoughts. "Just tired," I lied, but my mind was racing, piecing together a decade of slights. I thought of the hours I'd spent on their events, the money I'd spent on their gifts, the dreams I'd shelved to play the perfect daughter-in-law. I'd given them everything, and they'd spat in my face. The anger burned, but beneath it was a clarity I hadn't felt before. I wasn't their punching bag anymore. I didn't know how I'd make them see it, but I was done letting them define me. That night, I lay awake beside Daniel, his soft snores a contrast to the storm in my chest. I remembered my first Carter reunion, how I'd spent hours memorizing their names, hoping to impress them, only to be ignored. The memory fueled my resolve. They'd pay for their arrogance, not with a scene, but with the truth of who I was. The next morning, I woke before dawn, the house still cloaked in the quiet of early summer. Daniel was asleep, his arm draped over the quilt, unaware of the shift inside me. I slipped out of bed, my bare feet cold against the hardwood floor, and reached for my laptop on the nightstand. For years, I'd kept meticulous records of my freelance work, every invoice, every contract, every payment tracked in neat spreadsheets. It was a necessity in a field where clients could be fickle, but now it was something more, proof of my value, a rebuttal to the worthless label they'd pinned on me. As I scrolled through my files, I found a folder labeled Carter Contributions, a digital archive I'd created without fully knowing why. Inside were emails, receipts, and notes documenting every dollar I'd spent on the family, $2,000 for catering last year's reunion, $500 for a cousin's wedding gift, $1,200 for plane tickets to bring Daniel's relatives to Raleigh. The total was staggering, over $15,000 in 3 years, not to mention the unpaid hours I'd spent designing invitations, decorating venues, and cleaning up their messes. I opened a new document and began typing, listing every insult, every slight, every moment they'd made me feel small. It was a ledger of pain, but also of power. I called Emily, my voice steady despite the knot in my throat. "I need your help," I said. "The Carters think I'm nothing. I'm going to show them they're wrong." Emily's response was immediate, her tone brimming with determination. "Tell me everything, Mia. Let's make this ironclad." Over the next hour, I poured out the story, the reunion, the years of slights, the financial burden I'd carried. Emily listened, her legal mind already at work. "You've got a strong case for reimbursement," she said. "And that estate email? That's leverage. Let's use it." By the time I hung up, I felt a fire in my chest, a certainty that I wasn't just fighting for money, I was fighting for my dignity. Mrs. Ellis knocked on my door later, offering a plate of brownies and a knowing look. "Heard about the reunion," she said softly. "You're stronger than they know." Her words bolstered me, a reminder that I wasn't alone. The plan took shape over the next week, each piece falling into place like a mosaic of my reclaimed worth. I started by reviewing our joint account, separating my freelance income from Daniel's teaching salary. I'd always kept my earnings in a separate account, a precaution from our early marriage when his paycheck barely covered the bills. That foresight was now my shield. I transferred my savings to a new account, one the Carters couldn't access, and updated my passwords, locking Daniel out of my financial apps. Then I contacted the vendors I'd worked with for Carter events, caterers, florists, even the rental company for the reunion's tables, requesting itemized receipts for every expense I'd covered. The numbers piled up: $3,000 for last year's catering, $800 for decorations 2 years ago, $2,500 for travel expenses. I'd never asked for repayment, assuming it was my duty as the good daughter-in-law. But that assumption was dead. Emily helped me draft a formal letter to Patricia and Linda, detailing my $15,000 in contributions and demanding reimbursement within 30 days. "Keep it professional but sharp," Emily said, her voice crackling with excitement. "Make it clear you're not begging, you're owed." The letter was a masterclass in restraint, each sentence underscoring their ingratitude while leaving no room for misinterpretation. But the real game-changer was the estate email I'd found. Patricia's words, Mia's dragging Daniel down, and the agent's reply about the $3 million sale were a goldmine. Emily connected me with a real estate attorney, Karen Voss, who confirmed that Daniel's stake in the estate gave me leverage as his spouse. "You don't want the property," Karen said, "but you can stall any sale by demanding a review of marital assets." I didn't care about the money, I wanted them to know I wasn't invisible. I drafted a second letter to Margaret, the real estate agent, copying Patricia and Linda, politely expressing my concern about the sale and requesting all contracts for review. It was a calculated move, designed to rattle them. Meanwhile, I turned inward, pulling out my old business plan for a design studio. Years ago, I'd dreamed of a space where I could lead projects, not just execute them. I spent evenings emailing former clients, pitching a vision for Bennett Design Studio, and their responses were electric. "Mia, your work's always been top-notch," one wrote. "Let's talk branding." I leased a small office downtown, my heart racing as I signed the contract, using savings I'd once spent on the Carters. Each step was a reclamation, a reminder that I wasn't the woman they'd dismissed. I moved with precision, like an artist layering colors on a canvas. On a Friday evening, I mailed the reimbursement letter to Patricia and Linda, certified delivery to ensure they couldn't dodge it. The real estate letter went out simultaneously, a 1-2 punch designed to shake their confidence. I didn't tell Daniel, not yet. I wanted the Carters to feel the weight of their words first. By Monday, my phone buzzed with a voicemail from Patricia, her voice trembling with indignation. "Mia, this is absurd. Demanding money for things you chose to do. We need to talk immediately." I didn't respond, forwarding the message to Emily, who chuckled. "She's panicking. Keep the pressure on." Linda tried texting, her tone dripping with condescension. "You're making a fool of yourself, Mia. Stop this nonsense." I ignored her, focusing on my studio. I met with a potential client, a local bakery needing a rebrand, and spent hours sketching logos, my creativity reignited. Mia, a young designer I'd hired as an assistant, brought fresh energy to the office, her ideas sparking new possibilities. "You're building something amazing," she said one afternoon, pinning a mock-up to our inspiration board. Her faith in me was a stark contrast to the Carters' disdain. That evening, Daniel came home, his face tense. "Mom and Aunt Linda are freaking out about some letters you sent. What's happening?" I set down my sketchpad, meeting his gaze. "Your mother called me worthless at the reunion, Daniel. Linda said I'm a leech. They've spent years treating me like garbage, and you've let it slide." He winced, his shoulders slumping. "I didn't know they said that." "You didn't listen," I said, my voice firm. "I'm done playing nice. I sent them a letter demanding repayment for everything I've spent on your family, $15,000 in 3 years. And I know about the estate sale." His eyes widened. "The estate? Mia, that's just, don't," I cut him off. "I know you're on the deed. I know they're planning to sell and cut me out. I'm not letting them erase me anymore." Daniel sank into a chair, his hands covering his face. "I messed up. I'll talk to them." "No," I said, standing. "I'm handling it. You can decide where you stand." That night, I slept in the guest room, needing space to breathe, to plan, to become the woman I'd always been but never fully embraced. The fallout was swift and messy, but I was ready. Patricia and Linda sent a check for $10,000 2 weeks later, accompanied by a note claiming it was generous. I deposited it, but Emily pushed for the full $15,000, filing a small claims court case when they balked. "They're hoping you'll back down," she said, her eyes gleaming. "Show them you won't." The real estate letter had a seismic effect. Margaret, the agent, emailed me, her tone flustered. "The Carters are rethinking the sale. They didn't expect you to get involved. I instructed her to pause any negotiations, citing my legal rights as Daniel's spouse. It wasn't about the estate, it was about making them see me. Daniel was caught in the crossfire, his loyalty torn. One evening, he sat me down, his voice raw. "I didn't realize how much they hurt you, Mia. I should have stopped it years ago. Can we fix this?" I looked at him, the man I loved but no longer fully trusted. "We can try," I said. "But it starts with therapy. And you need to choose me over them." He nodded, booking our first session the next day, a fragile step toward rebuilding. My studio was gaining momentum, with 3 new clients, a bakery, a nonprofit, and a tech startup, signing contracts within a month. Mia's designs complemented mine, and our office buzzed with creativity, a sanctuary where I was valued, not diminished. The Carters fought back, with Linda spreading rumors that I was extorting them. A few cousins texted, confused, and I responded with scanned receipts, letting the $15,000 speak for itself. The family group chat went silent, and soon, I received messages of support. "We had no idea," one cousin wrote. "You didn't deserve that." Mrs. Ellis, hearing the gossip through her book club, brought over a casserole. "You're showing them, dear," she said, her smile warm. The Carters' facade was crumbling, and I hadn't raised my voice. 6 months after the reunion, I stood on a stage at the Raleigh Women's Business Expo, my studio's logo glowing on a screen behind me. The auditorium was packed with entrepreneurs, their faces attentive as I shared my journey, not the Carters' betrayal, but the resilience I'd found in building my own path. "Success isn't about winning everyone's approval," I said, my voice clear and confident. "It's about knowing your worth and refusing to let anyone steal it." The applause was thunderous, a wave of validation that anchored me. Backstage, Mia handed me my phone, buzzing with an email from Patricia. "Mia, we're moving forward with the estate sale. Can we discuss terms?" I forwarded it to Emily, a smile tugging at my lips. The Carters had finally seen me, not as a leech, but as a force. Daniel met me at home, a bottle of wine on the kitchen table, his eyes soft with pride. "You were incredible today," he said. "I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner." I accepted his words, but my strength no longer hinged on his approval. Therapy was helping us rebuild, but I knew my worth didn't depend on him or his family. The studio was thriving, with plans for a second location in Durham. The Carters sent the remaining $5,000 a week later, no note, just a transaction that felt like surrender. I donated it to a women's shelter, a final act of release. That evening, I sat on our porch, the summer air warm, the scent of honeysuckle faint but familiar. I thought of the woman I'd been at the reunion, wounded, invisible, desperate to belong. She was gone, replaced by someone who'd faced scorn and emerged unshaken. The Carters had called me worthless, but I'd left them speechless, building a life where their judgment was just a whisper in the wind. What do you do when those who should cherish you cast you aside? You rise, claim your voice, and let your strength silence their doubts.